Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being with us here for the regular council meeting of Wednesday, November 20th, 2024 at 5 o'clock in Cayce City Hall chambers. The press and public have been notified according to the Freedom of Information Act?
Yes, Mayor.
Thank you. I believe Councilmember Stocks has her invocation this evening.
I do. Pray with me if you will. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for allowing us to come here tonight and meet to discuss the business of our city. I pray that the actions we take reflect your will and the best interests of our city and its residents, Lord. We thank you for our staff and pray for our first responders who are on duty and while they're off duty as well, and thank you for their courage and willingness to protect our city. Pray this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have public comment regarding items on the agenda.
No one signed up, Mayor.
Thank you. First up, we have recognition of Lexington II Innovation Center welding instructor Laird Thompson for being awarded the News 19 Teacher of the Week. And we have one of our staff members who nominated him. If they will please both join me at the podium.
I'll wait till they get up, then I'll start it.
He's bigger than I am. He can lead the.
This one. Okay. There we go.
I have a face maker.
Jamie.
Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry.
You're fine.
It's worth the wait, I promise. Here it is, Teacher of the Week. I X'd out your name. Oh, there's Mr. Thompson. Jamie had it all perfect. I messed with it. Sorry.
Well, this is a special treat. We have Christy here with us for Teacher of the Week. And this time I understand we're supposed to grab our goggles.
Oh, yeah.
And a helmet necessary.
A welding helmet.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah, we are basically going to get schooled all about the welding. Our next educator is all about his students. We're talking about past and present. This is a really special one.
I love
It
that.
gets super emotional. So,
Oh,
all right. I'm going to send you guys over to Lexington II Innovation Center with all of that surprise.
And when you weld, it all occurs in the same day.
Whether in the classroom
What's the two things we do when we go back out there and plug it up?
or in the welding room, you'll always find Mr. Laird Thompson helping his students grow at Lexington II Innovation Center. Just ask his former student, Chad Tulusky, who nominated him to be our next News 19 Teacher of the Week.
I honestly wouldn't be in the job that I am in today if it wasn't for him, because he influenced me so much to go out and actually pursue my job that I'm in now.
Now working at the City of Cayce water treatment plant, he credits his career to Mr. Thompson.
Sure, he lets you understand things, the way, why we do this, why we do that, how we do this, what to do, what not to do.
So we brought Chad with us for the big surprise.
Mr. Thompson, I'm Christy Calcagno from WLCX. Congratulations, you are our Teacher of the Week. Let's give it up for Mr. Thompson today.
Passion is always having everybody as skilled as they can be and cross-trained and things like that. And so I had earned my teaching credentials then. And the door opened.
Born in Florida, Mr. Thompson moved to Lexington II, where he was part of the foundation group that helped design and construct the Innovation Center.
It's better than anything else you could do.
Teaching for the past 22 years, he calls it an incredible adventure.
You can talk about a lot of manifest destiny type things, but the door opened and I began teaching high school students, and I never thought that would be even remotely what I did.
And even when we asked him about some of the remarkable things he's built in our community, his response,
But let me talk about what the kids have built.
he always makes sure to highlight his students' successes before his own.
My senior class built the bike rack that is in Ginyard Park. My students designed it with the city's collaboration, and they constructed it.
And even got a little emotional talking about them too.
So when you can energize somebody to get them out of their comfort zone and get them into doing something different, it becomes remarkable to watch. I get emotional talking about it. And they're just, they turn into great community citizens.
You're a great teacher, great guy. Easily one of the most impactful people in my life for sure, so.
There you go.
Gentlemen, you have the floor.
Dance. 19 years old. I was talking with his supervisor a minute ago. What you do, what you touch, it just moves. But 19 years old, and he's already ran the water, and I drink the water every day. You do too. He's ran that plant. He's operated that plant at 19 years of age. Remarkable young, great citizens of our communities. They're coming through your schools, and your funds are creating the opportunity for their exposures, not just to welding, to any and every one of the opportunities that we have in our communities and our need for them. So please always be aware they're great young people out there, and we're growing them, and they're going to be our next generation so we can retire, right? And so we've got great children in our community, and thank you for letting me have the opportunity to teach them.
I won't make it. But I will say a few things. One, thank you for reminding us and getting us to see this story of the difference that teachers make. We know it, but to get to see it in action is a great reminder for all of us. You, thank you for being a part of the City of Cayce team, and for being a great student, and for being a great team member, but also for taking the time to thank those who make a difference. That we do that here at the City of Cayce, and we're so glad that you do that as well. So thank you.
Wouldn't be here without them, actually. So.
Yes.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
He's working
Our water plant is in great hands, and thank you for being a great mentor and a great leader, and for, well, thank you. Next, we have a recognition of Vanessa Moda and Moda Crosslink Business Academy for fostering growth in the business community. Cayce resident Vanessa Moda is a visionary founder of Motivated Consulting and Moda Cross-Linking Business Academy, established in 2019. Through her efforts, MCBA has become a pioneering bilingual and multicultural institution with a global reach, dedicated to the education and empowerment of entrepreneurs and business leaders. Vanessa's unwavering commitment to fostering inclusivity and growth is evident in the Academy's work to serve multicultural communities. By offering tailored programs, curriculums, training, business consultations, and technical assistance across South Carolina, MCBA has played a critical role in enhancing businesses and uplifting diverse communities. Her guiding philosophy, Think about your legacy. The money will follow. Inspires countless individuals to pursue impactful and meaningful ventures. Recently, Vanessa's remarkable contributions were celebrated by the South Carolina House of Representatives, an acknowledgement of her dedication to connecting and empowering individuals of all ages, ethnicities, and cultures. We recognize Vanessa Mota for her exceptional leadership, vision, and commitment to creating opportunities that leave a lasting legacy for communities and future generations. Awesome, thank you. Do you want to get one with your family?
Yes, please.
Look, you match though, it's great. So you're
You ready? Say Cayce. Thank you.
Next, we have recognition of Juan Rivera for being awarded the 2024 South Carolina Latino Hispanic Business Day Business of the Year for Tacos Nayarit. Come on up. Stand over here so you can get a picture. Come on. Yes.
I'll move it back to the microphone.
Even better, thank you. Don't go too far with my phone.
We'll move it back.
There we go.
It picks it up.
Perfect technology. Mr. Juan Rivera was recently awarded the 2024 South Carolina Latino Hispanic Business Day Business of the Year by Motor Cross-Linking Business Academy. Since its inception in 2007, Tacos Nayarit has not only delivered authentic and delicious Mexican cuisine to South Carolina, but has also served as a testament to the power of hard work, perseverance, and dedication to excellence. From humble beginnings with a single food truck to the celebrated success as a restaurant chain, Mr. Rivera's journey embodies the spirit of the American dream. His culinary achievements are widely acknowledged, earning Tacos Nayarit accolades such as being ranked number 74 on Yelp's top 100 taco spots in the U.S. and being named South Carolina's best taco spot by Yelp. Their food has been celebrated by locals and critics alike, making them a beloved staple of the community. Beyond his culinary talents, Juan has demonstrated a profound commitment to giving back. Through his generous support of local schools, churches, law enforcement, and sports teams, he has shown how businesses can uplift and empower the communities they serve. We are thrilled to have been chosen as the second location of Tacos Nayarit and look forward to it opening soon in Cayce. So I will tell you that when I told my husband that we have a Tacos Nayarit coming, he went to one of his colleagues and said, "Let's go there for lunch." And he said, "Dude, I can't. I've already been there 3 times this week."
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Did you get a picture? Or you good? Next, we have a presentation and progress report by Tom Binky, Senior Hydrologist with S&ME Incorporated on the city's Brownfields Grant.
Hello,
Hi.
thanks for having me. Okay, let's see, there we go, okay.
I got it right.
Thank you all, thanks for having me, and I want to say thank you for hiring us to handle your Brownfields grant last year. We certainly enjoyed working with you guys, and it's been a work in progress. So anyway, I'm going to give you just a little update on where we're at with this. So just the objectives, I want to just do an overview of the Brownfield Assessments Grant, what it is, our progress to date, and where we are going forward. So just an overview of the grant, just a reminder of you guys have had this for almost a couple of years now, but the grant, it's an EPA grant and it's in the amount of $500,000. It's a lot of money. The grant period is from July 1st, 2022 to December 30th, 2026. Fees spent to date is $51,000. That's what we've spent to date. And just if you look at the screen, just kind of an outbreak of what this money is spent for. Community outreach, meetings and things like that, flyers, mailers, $12,000. Assessment, $22,000. Programmatic support, which is all the reporting that we need to do the EPA, all the paperwork and the admin and all that sort of stuff. So we've got a total remaining of $448,000. So just kind of an overview of what this grant does do and does not do. So eligible activities for this money are Phase 1 environmental site assessments. If you find an issue on a property, you need to investigate it. Phase 2 environmental site assessments. That would include asbestos and lead-based paint, soil and groundwater, hazardous materials. The grant will pay for reuse planning activities, like if you got an old building and they want to turn it into a coffee shop, or an old brownfield property you want to make a park. The grant will pay for reuse planning activities, and then community engagement meetings and things like that. The grant is not eligible for is underground storage tank removal, remediation, building demolition, building renovation, residential properties, or properties with no economic value for the city. So progress to date, estimate we were officially contracted in August of 2023. First thing out of the gate that we needed to do before doing anything, which is what the EPA wanted us to do, is develop a community involvement plan, which was done. We had one community engagement meeting in January earlier this year. We produced, as kind of a technical language here, a generic quality assurance project plan, what we just call a QAP. And what that is basically it's a blueprint for all the environmental work that we do. It's a rather long, involved document that takes a lot of time to put together. DHEC, now DES, has to approve, as well as the EPA. So that was finished in June. Two projects we've done. We did a Phase 1 environmental and a lead-based paint. That's what LBP stands for the old Cayce school site at 800 Lexington Avenue, which is going to be redeveloped with housing, as you know. And then a Phase 1 LBP and asbestos for a piece of property at 237 Foreman Street, which is right next to Steel Hands Brewery. And we did find some issues with that property, and we did prepare a site-specific QAP for that property to do additional investigation. And the status of that is we sent it to DES about 3 weeks ago, and it is still sitting in their review. So there's a lot of government interaction with this between all the documents that we have to provide, reporting, that kind of slows things as we go along. And we have a community engagement meeting scheduled for December 11th, so that's coming up pretty quick. That meeting, I presume it'll be held here like we did last time, and the purpose of that is just to have folks come in and we can talk about the grant, what it can do for their properties, how it can help them, information. It's also, a way to reach out to property owners in the city, and just, whoever wants to come and get information on this grant. So just a brief overview, the two properties that we did work on, so you're all familiar with this. This is the old Lexington school site at 800 Lexington Avenue. We didn't find any issues there. So they're outside of the Phase 1 environmental assessment that we did. That was all that was done on this property. So this is 237 Foreman Street. So this is a sizable property, just south of Steel Hands Brewery. I'm told that Steel Hands Brewery may have some interest in expanding into this property, and the property owners also expressed to me that there might be other buyers as well. So we are in the process of waiting to get through DES approval and then EPA approval to move forward with a Phase 2 assessment. At this point, it's probably not going to happen until after the first of the year, but that assessment will be soil and groundwater testing. Once that's done, then hopefully that would be a vehicle to have the property owner be able to sell this and then have a developer come in and redevelop this property. Going forward, what are we doing now? Well, we continue to update our brownfields inventory. We've got almost 37 potential properties throughout the city. I'm not going to read through all these, but this is just a list, and I'll say Steve's been great. I know he's only been here a short while, but he's been great helping us, prioritize these sites and coming up with these different addresses. And they're pretty much scattered all about the city. And I know you can't read that map, but I definitely can't see it from here. But that's just kind of, you can see the little red dots are kind of the bullet points where all these various sites are. So, this is an example of potential properties. I mean, you can see there's one at 1800 State Street. That's an old gas station. That's a perfect, type of property that we would, potentially want to reuse. Another property there on State Street, I'm not sure if that's, open or not. These are just examples of commercial sites that are around town that may be potential benefit, to this program. And again, the whole idea is to, have this assessment, paid for by the grant and motivate the property owner to want to do something with their properties, redevelop them, turn them into something other than what they are, especially if they're just vacant and blighted properties. Here's a couple other ones. Again, I'm not sure. I think I'm familiar with the one on the left. I don't know if it's occupied or not, and then the one on the right over on Holland Avenue. But, it's a commercial site, and, the challenge here, a year later probably is just getting property owners motivated to do something with their property. And, everybody wants something for free, of course, so it's like, we want, sure, you can get, if you have that old gas station site, I'll go back to that one on the left. That would be some Phase 2 work there. So the property owner would benefit from that because that's expensive stuff. When you go out there and take soil and groundwater samples, I mean, it could save him tens of thousands of dollars. But the flip side, he has to be motivated and interested to do it. So we have the meeting coming up in December, on December 11th. We are in the process of sending out mailers to up to 40 properties, I think Steve, or something like that. 40 to 50. Yeah. To property owners, we've already sent out mailers to 37 just commercial property owners with a bunch of information on the grant. Hopefully that could spark some interest. But again, the key is, getting these property owners interested. Going back, the grant, it's a lot of money. It's, $500,000. And I will say, with our experience with other types of grants in different states, I mean, that's a lot of money to spend for environmental assessment. You normally, something like that, if you have an old factory, a landfill, something like that, you can spend big bucks doing a lot of assessment. These tiny little properties, it's kind of, it's a little pinpricks here and there with the kind of budget we have. But we have monthly calls with the EPA. They've had some turnover there as well. We've got a new project manager, and she's very nice, and she's been very patient with us, and, we update them, and they seem to be content that we're making a, sincere effort to get property owners, involved and engaged and get these meetings going. But the EPA does want to see some progress. I mean, I think in the contract, they can, after 18 months, we can get reviewed, and they can kind of look at us, are you spending this money or not? And, they would have the option, to cancel the grant if they wanted to, but we're not there. We're working hard to try and get some folks interested, and hopefully we'll get some activity at this community meeting. And once we get these mailers out and all that, then you know, just for yourself, if you let everybody know, I mean, we're trying to reach out to local realtors, colliers, commercial realtors in the area too, to let them know, because they're the movers and shakers in town. They're selling these properties. So if they know that this grant is available, then that may help us as well. But we've tried to reach out to them. So that's kind of where we're at. I'm open for any questions.
Thank you. Questions?
Down here.
We worked very hard and very long to get that Brownfields grant. So let me be clear that we will not be turning that grant back in.
Okay. I don't want to, believe me,
so-
I want to spend the money.
So,
But, yeah.
whatever we need to do to be connecting to property owners, to real estate agents, all of those things that you talked about is great. We would love for you to be doing that. If you need contacts from us, we're I'm sure y'all have already been providing contacts. But this, for people who don't know, this is a great economic development engine. It is designed by the EPA to help get blighted properties to bring new life, to get their second life, whether it's a vacant property or just a vacant building, to get to have an adaptive reuse of some sort. We've tried other things. I brought to this council an option to encourage landowners to make sure that blighted properties didn't just sit. The council didn't want to do that, and that's certainly council's prerogative. But this is another option that we've got. We won this grant money, so I'd love for us to have, whether it's monthly calls or monthly updates, whatever we need to be doing to make sure that we are supporting those landowners to know how this is a great resource for them to be able to do cool and unique things with their property. Maybe just even above mail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you so much,
Okay.
Mr. Binky.
I don't know if this turns off on its own or I'll let you handle that. All right, thank you.
Next, we have discussion and approval of ordinance 2024-11, amending the zoning map and rezoning property located on Fish Hatchery Road. This is tax map number 006896-02-035 from RG1 to M1. This is the second reading.
Madam Mayor, members of council, the owner of Braddock's Creek Properties has requested a map amendment to rezone property located on Fish Hatchery Road from RG1 to M1. The subject property is located among other M1 properties as well as developed and undeveloped areas. The M1 zoning classification is intended to accommodate wholesaling, warehousing, light manufacturing, office and related business uses on individual lots and in business park settings. The M1 zoning district also permits retail, restaurants, hotels, along with various other uses. The requested rezoning is in compliance with our comprehensive plan. The Planning Commission held a regularly scheduled meeting on October 21st, 2024, unanimously voted on the map amendment to rezone the property on Fish Hatchery Road from RG1 to M1. No one at the public hearing spoke in support or against the map amendment. The Planning Commission unanimously voted to recommend the council approve the request to rezone the property located on Fish Hatchery Road, tax map number 00689602035 from RG1 to M1, second reading.
Thank you.
I move that we rezone said property located on Fish Hatchery Road from RG1 to M1.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? I'll call the question.
Councilmember Thomas?
Yes.
Councilmember Socks?
Yes.
Councilmember Carter?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes, thank you. So moved. We have city manager's report.
A couple items. A big thank you to the Cayce Women's Club for providing breakfast this morning to our utility folks. They all enjoyed a nice meal to start the day and enjoyed a little bit of fellowship too. So good turnout. Battalion Chief Blakeman with our fire department answered a call for service to aid an elderly citizen who had fallen in his yard. He not only helped the citizen out medically, but also helped him back inside his house. While they were waiting there, the elderly citizen was having issues with his TV and couldn't get it working. So, as you guessed it, our battalion chief jumped up, and it was a simple remote control fix, but he has his TV now. So, it's just the demonstrator the care and kindness of our team to go out and do little things like that, which means a lot to our citizens. Tom Chumney, Vice President of Haven Homes, reached out, I think to you, Madam Mayor, and expressed his appreciation for our utilities team for going. He felt like they went above and beyond of what he's used to. So a shout out to your utilities team again, so they doing well. Shelley, our business license administrator, just graduated from the South Carolina Economic Development Institute, so we're very proud of her to use that wisdom with our city. The finance department has completed their fiscal year 23-24 audit and is finalizing the annual comprehensive financial report, ACFR, which we all thought of CAFR, but it's changed the name anyway. We'll be having that on our website very soon. With that, we've already kicked off the 25-26 FY budget. That kicks off formally on Friday to all the department heads. So get ready for the email, department heads. Michael Conley, our very own deputy city manager, wants to throw a shout out to our parks team for addressing our signs at City Hall. If you notice some new mums that were regenerated from Mindy on our display that we had out there earlier for the Fall Fest, we reused those mums and planted them in front of our signs. And of course, they're hanging their Christmas lights. I think they started in July, didn't they, Mike? As you can see, the billboards behind us, we had our unveiling the other day down there at 12,000 Year History Park that the Madam Mayor spearheaded a while ago with that. We thankful for the donations that we have from Nikki Setzler, Senator Nikki Setzler and Micah helped us get some money for that, and also from the donation from the Daniel and Susan F. Boyd Foundation, which really kicked things off. So we're headed out. Mayor, would you like to say some things about that?
Sure. $2.155 million was certainly a blessing to get to help spearhead. You know, this is, y'all can see these pictures. I hope you'll go look at them before you leave. This was, when I first became mayor, the River Alliance had done a little bit of work on this site. So this is a piece of property that's between the tennis center and the river. In this 1 square mile, there's already proof of habitation from 12,000 years ago. There's also proof of Civil War and Revolutionary War battles, all in that 1 square mile. And most of those pieces of property in our country have been built over or forgotten. So thanks to the River Alliance having that vision, I then started working with, it was SCANA at the time, and they donated the land to the city of Cayce. So we have slowly been moving forward on figuring out how we protect that land further and how we make sure to tell the important stories of what happened there. Jim mentioned Nikki, our former senator, Nikki Setzler, and our representative, Micah Caskey, helped to get some money from some state money for some site preparation work, and that certainly mattered. But then the Boyd Foundation was very excited to work together to bring the building to fruition. What's really cool about this is, as long as I've been involved with this and been spearheading it and helping to move it forward, I'm somewhat of a newbie, because the person who really was involved with this was Ozzie Nagler. And back in the 1990s, Ozzie Nagler, look him up. He is an amazing man. He has done work around the world. He was the one who drew these original concepts. And some of these pictures might look familiar to you building-wise, because this is it's the same style of building that the National Park Service has down in the Congaree National Park. So you'll see there on the left of this the picture that's on the right, you'll see that's kind of a museum space and an opportunity to go and walk through and learn about the stories. There's a theater in that space, but you also have this walk-through breezeway that is also meant to be a classroom space or a meeting space if you're catching up with somebody and going to start on the trail, because all of this goes straight to the trails. And then on the right, there's bathrooms that can be open longer and additional meeting space that's on the right that's separate from the main museum. It's a really lovely design, and it works very beautifully with the natural and cultural and historical significance of the site there. So I had Ozzie standing right next to me when we announced that large multi-million-dollar gift, and so we can't wait to have the groundbreaking after the first of the year and have him there to see this building come out of fruition. But he is definitely a treasure, and it's exciting to get to have him still be a part of this.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Jim. Council comments?
Yes, ma'am. So I just got back from Tampa from the National League of Cities, and I learned a lot. So I have a lot of notes here that I want to share with people so y'all get comfortable. There are cities that have cemetery task force that involve city employees and stakeholders in the community. They work with universities and companies that have ground penetrating radar, GPR, technology, and they work with private property owners to verify cemetery sites. Some cities have purchased cemeteries to preserve property or were able to dedicate them as park space to prevent anyone from building on the cemeteries. Our city hired Stantec in 2022 to complete a survey of historic African American cemeteries. They state in their research that most of the cemeteries in our city need to be further investigated with ground penetrating radar technology. Jim, I would love it if our city can continue to work and finish their job and not allow this to be a halfway thing, because I have a lot of constituents that have reached out to me in regards to wanting more answers on where these cemeteries are, with knowing that the last records are saying that we need to further dig in for more information. So if we can create a task force, if we can look for grant money, if we can work with universities and companies that have the technology out there, I would love for us to dig further, because there's people in our city that are a beautiful age that have knowledge of where these cemeteries potentially are. And the last thing I would want sitting up here is for them to pass away and we don't give them closure that they deserve. So, Jim, I would love to finish the job for our citizens. Also, I spoke with a number of people that have city youth councils. So, and I know that's more so a mayor thing. So, Mayor, I'm sitting here next to you saying I would be honored to work with you. I'm not sure if you've done it in the past, but if you have, amazing. And I would love to work with you to try to get something going again, because working with our youth, who doesn't love doing that? But for our city to continue to elevate with the times, we need to encourage youth to get involved with us, to engage with us. We have parks. Everyone wants to know, how do we get kids outside playing, getting off of technology? Well, we need them in our parks. So we need to engage them. And we need them engaged in the events, so we know we're putting on amazing city events for them to participate in. So, Mayor, I'm one of your foot soldiers. Send me off to do whatever I can to support you so we can have an amazing youth council with BC High School and Airport High School. Next, there are cities that are out there building relationships with the banks in their community, and they're finding ways for these banks to help their citizens. These banks, working with the city, are educating their citizens on loans, what to watch for and not be scammed in predatory loans, how to build up their credit, which also helps you get a loan, how to improve and build up an emergency fund, because we all know a flat tire comes or something dramatic comes in our lives and we got to spend money that we didn't plan for. On top of that, partnering with school districts to educate parents on child savings accounts like our state's 529 Future State Scholars Plan. So these cities are trying to build partnerships with the banks and other stakeholders in the community, because my belief is if we can help one family take that financial step from one level to the next, we've done an amazing job as a city. And granted, we want more than one family, but we got to take this one step at a time. So I'm here to help our city work with any partnerships we need to. And I know Kelly is doing a great job with our banks, but whatever we can do to sit down with them to figure out, hey, how can we partner to continue to help our residents? I would love to be a part of that conversation. Finally, regarding procurement, one city in particular had an ordinance where they have business criteria for awarding major bids to a company. For example, projects that are $10 million and higher, the winning bid must have met certain criteria. For example, how involved and invested they are in the community, how many of their employees actually live in that city. They want to make sure, because when our city has these bids and everything. That's your money. That is your money. That's taxpayer dollars. So they want to make sure when they giving out these bids to these companies are invested in the city, and you see them, you know them, they've hired your friends, and they're here to stay. So I thought that was very interesting, and granted, our procurement process, I'm still learned about it, but some of these cities are doing things that's like, wow, it just makes my head spin on what they're doing. So I learned a lot from this National League of Cities conference, and I'm very excited to continue to go to more conferences like our States Municipal Association Conference. And I'm going to continue to learn to bring this great information back to our citizens, because I'm competitive. And I know the city of Cayce has so much more to offer our people and our state. So get ready for a lot of fun, hopefully projects that we can do in the city. And just two more things, Mayor. So I'm having an amazing hot dogs and handshakes event on December 1st from 2 to 4. And we're going to have some big superstars at Burnett Park on that day. We're going to have Mr. Jim Crosland, our city manager, and we're going to have Chief Herbert Blake there. So if you are free in my district, especially if you're in District 2, please come out. If you're in the city of Cayce, or who knows, if you want to meet these superstars, come to Burnett Park. There'll be hot dogs, and it's sponsored by Something Barred, a business in our city of Cayce. So, I'm not sure if Chief loves pies or cookies or whatever, but let's fatten him up with some joy this holiday season. He's laughing back there. I got him to laugh. But let's really make him feel welcome, and let's give him some love in the city of Cayce. And lastly, if you know a high school student that's an artist in Lexington or Richland County, please have them submit a mural design to keep the Midlands beautiful. I've been blessed to partner with them to bring a mural to my district to help bring more tourism and business to our beautiful city. So the goal is, sadly, if we don't get any submissions, we potentially can lose that opportunity. And I hate losing free opportunities. So please, if you know a student that loves to draw in high school, tell them to submit a mural design, and let's continue to beautify the city of Cayce. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember.
I also had the privilege of going to the National League of Cities Conference last week. I don't think me and Byron crossed paths in a lot of the sessions. We were focused on some different things, and I attended a good couple around economic development and was able to tour their river walk. Theirs is a little bit different than ours. It's pretty vast and has a lot of businesses along it, which would be awesome for us to be able to bring some businesses to ours at some point. Really to the Midlands, not necessarily to ours. I know that we prioritize a lot of nature out 77, but just in general to the Midlands. But also was able to go to a session on moving the needle on housing and diversifying housing stock, and listening to some best practices on that and getting people up to speed. And one of the communities talked about how they were able to bring the developers together, the community members, the religious groups, the businesses, and teach them or talk to them about how they look at it from a development standpoint of, here's what I have to get out of this property to be able to properly develop it, and take in from the community members what they want to see in that to preserve what was there, or hey, we actually don't want this at all. And I know a lot of it follows along with the comp plan, but pretty neat on how they were able to have those meetings at the site and walk around different sites around the city. Something I would love to further explore. Also attended one session called Buy Local, Thrive Local, and I just assumed Tim James was teaching that one. It just sounds like the Chamber's motto of love local. But then also had some great discussions with some other elected officials and staff members from around the country about TIF, and then learned about multi-county business parks. And both are some things that I think could be influential and impactful out Airport Boulevard corridor and possibly the Charleston Highway corridor to continue some of the efforts that have been done on Knox Abbott. But all in all, a great time, a little bit different than the municipal conference we go to. So great experience. And I also want to touch on, I think Byron missed it, and I'm kind of shocked, on the press conference with the school district, the chamber, Cypress, and all those involved on Tuesday at the 800 Lexington Avenue lot. And it was great being able to hear from former teachers at the school and learn about the history of it, and I think it'll be a really exciting development, and was interesting to go to that session and then come right back to the press conference with many community members and groups involved. So that's all I got.
Thank you.
I'll be brief. First off, Councilman Thomas, thank you for mentioning the African American Cemetery Project. I fully support the continuation of the fine work already done to not only identify but recognize those particular cemeteries. So thank you for that. And again, thank you to City Manager, the Mayor, and Council for the agenda tonight, recognizing Larry Thompson, Ms. Moda, and Mr. Rivera. And it really brings a good spirit to this room when we recognize folks in our community. And I think you're gonna see that continue. And it's really appreciated, the great things that are being done. And we're gonna start working a little tighter with the school district to maybe mention some good things going on over there. Obviously, our student, that's something good out of Lexington too, because we got some good things going over there. And so we're gonna talk more in the future about that. So thank you, Mayor.
Yes, thank you. Jim, if you will, I don't want there being a misperception that if you could maybe reshare that document from the African American Cemetery Study, it really was very comprehensive, and I don't think there's anybody that hasn't gotten to contribute to that. It really was extensive community involvement, and that's how we found what we did. We were able to locate those cemeteries, so that work is largely done. The next steps is really exciting.
I'll bring that back.
Yes, perfect, thank you, appreciate that, because that's, that involvement from citizens is not missing. It really was well done by the museum and the consultants that were involved with that. So, yes, thank you. And I'm wearing my pin tonight that the Doves, the young girls group that is at Cayce Elementary, that one of our female SROs, our school resource officer, started, and they gave me that pin on induction night, and I just got reminded of something about young girls, and sometimes we need to encourage each other. I sit up here as mayor to remind them that even when those around you might lie about you or say unkind things about you or name call you, that you still keep doing what's right. You still keep believing in being kind and in making a difference. It matters, and I sit up here and encourage you. So thank you so much, and thank you to our SRO who started that group. All right, next we have executive session.
Madam Mayor,
Thank you.
if I could, we do have 2 items for executive session. These were inadvertently omitted in the electronic reproduction of the agenda. They are first, discussion of a matter covered by the attorney-client privilege, and second, discussion of negotiations incident to an agreement with DOT concerning the Avenues Drainage Project. If council could consider those.
Thank you so much, Danny. That was my next question. I'll be honest, if we haven't put this out electronically to our citizens, can these wait till the next meeting? Just so we're making sure we're sharing with our citizens always what we're doing?
The attorney-client privilege matter would be a little bit time sensitive. If we could consider that, I'd appreciate it.
Is it something that there will be any action on that the citizens should know about, or will that action happen later so the citizens are aware of anything that might happen?
It would necessitate a motion coming out of it, but it's related to the council's business relationship with the city attorney.
Okay. Would y'all consider adding that? Do we need a motion to add that to the agenda?
Yes,
and then a
ma'am.
motion to go into?
You could.
So,
I move that we add said matter to action under attorney-client privilege in executive session.
Second.
okay. I'll call the question. I think it's okay.
Councilmember Thomas?
Yes.
Councilmember Sopps?
Yes.
Councilmember Carter?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes, thank you, so moved. Now we need a motion to go into executive session for that reason.
Move that we enter executive session.
Second.
Okay. For that reason. Yes,
For said reason.
thank you.
Second.
I'll call the question.
Councilmember Thomas?
Yes.
Councilmember Sopps?
Yes.
Councilmember Carter?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes, thank you, so moved. Okay. So no action was taken in executive session except to come out of executive session. I don't believe we have any actions in follow-up to executive session, so I would be glad to take a motion to adjourn.
Mayor, motion to adjourn.
Second.
I just love the emphasis, Phil. It was really good. It was
Live, I've been practicing
very
at home.
stately. I like that. I will call the question.
Councilmember Thomas?
Yes.
Councilmember Socks?
Yes.
Councilmember Carter?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes, thank you, so moved. Y'all have a good night.